Expert Natalee Holmes joining us this evening. Natalee, good evening.
Evening.
Very, very worrying. And I think for many, many years, many of us have been aware of what we should and shouldn't be posting about our children. You know, the pictures of them in the bathtub and in their underwear, or naked, butt naked, crawling, whatever it is. Yes, we know there are no-nos, but there seems to be even more danger about the details we put out there about them, even from birth. Just tell us what happens, especially when it comes to identity theft and what we're doing.
I think originally we start creating a digital footprint for our children. You know, they're a little grey blur on an ultrasound, and that's when they make their debut into the digital world. And so it goes on. And I think we don't realize that our security settings may be tight, but nothing is removable. It's all permanent. So the things that we put on, even if we're just cautious to use just their first names, you know, you can pick up, if you post enough things, you can pick up enough information about that child to be able to steal their identity later on. In the States, it's happening quite a bit with 16-year-olds. You know, they're going to get licenses, and they find that they've already got licenses registered because people have stolen their identity. So things like that, and we have to be careful of.
So what are the things that we should not be posting when it comes to things like that will allow somebody to steal their identity? What shouldn't we be putting out there? Well, I mean, we have proud moments. Right. Some people want to share them. There are some things that are, what shouldn't be happening?
I think anything that you can associate name, address, school, location. Lots of our photos, our cameras automatically do location tagging. Yes. And, you know, that can be picked up in the photo. Social media pictures can be downloaded really quickly and easily, and sometimes the information that's embedded in that. So, you know, these people who prey on that will be able to dig out this information. So never pictures in front of your house with your address. You know, lots of people will say, look, new home, and the whole family standing in front of the house, and there's a big number of what number house it is, or even school uniforms. That's often an issue. I mean, the obvious online predators, that's even more of an issue.
Yeah,
but
the human trafficking aspect.
Right,
as well, yes.
Because then they know which school, you know, we play hockey matches on a Wednesday, etc. So it can be quite an issue.
I think we're just thinking often of just in the moment. We're not thinking about what clues we're leaving along the way. For us, it's just the moment. But like you say, your camera is
collectively, and collectively, they'll, you know, one day you might put a picture of starting high school and the picture of the name of the high school, and a couple of months down the line, you put another picture, and people who trawl these information will be collating that, and then they'll have enough information to steal your identity later on.
So even from birth, I mean, just going, new baby, this is the hospital, baby Rangapa, you know, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
That can have serious repercussions later on.
It does. Yeah, and I think also later on, the history or the print that you leave behind, you know, nowadays people are Googling you. When you apply for a job or you want to apply for universities, they look at what you've been saying and doing, and you've got to be conscious of the information that you've left, you know, especially before they're old enough to have a say in that.
Okay, so those are the precautions when it comes to identity theft. What about what we might pay for as parents later when our children go, why did you do that? Why did you post that with me, you know, all those years ago? What's happening out there with that?
The difference is, you know, we look at our parents' old yellowing photo albums and be like, Mom, I can't believe you pulled out the album, you know. But for our kids, we now find the urge to publicize all of this and publish it online. So there's that. And I just think that you have to be really careful with what you're posting.
Yeah. You mentioned bullying earlier.
That's another aspect.
How is stuff like that being used sort of 10, 15 years later?
I'll give you an example. Actually, you know, there's so many. Now. So there's so many groups where there's mom support groups and family support groups, and I'm on a couple of those. And someone might post, you know, my child at 11 is still bedwetting. Anyone got any tips? And if they don't post that anonymously, you know.
And what's anonymous anyway out there now?
Exactly. Yeah. So down the line, say at 16, 17, someone sees this, one of their mates, and then, I mean, that's not something that child would want everybody to know. Yeah. So as much as the parents are trying to get advice and help, and their intentions are obviously good, down the line that can be something that they would be very bullied by. So
what's the right way to do this? I mean, obviously from an age where you're able to communicate with your child, should we say, you know what, my baby, it's your birthday, do you want me to post? And also, you've got to worry about other people's kids. And that's another layer to all of this, is when you have events and you have special days and you've got everybody's kids in those pictures as well. So how do we navigate all of that?
It's difficult because, I mean, it's a personal preference, I guess. But ultimately, I do think we need to be aware of the imprint that we're leaving. Because, you know, down the line, if you think about if an employer was to, 10 years from now, do a search on your child, what are they going to find? You know, are they going to see them drinking 6 beers at a party and think, oh, you know, what is the profile you're creating that they might not know you're creating? You know, or if, you know, like you might do a silly photo when they're 10 holding dad's beer and a pack of cigarettes, and it's, haha, look at what my child did. And everyone in your family and circle knows that's out of context, but that picture taken out of context can be detrimental to them. It's creating an image that that child might not want to have associated with them.
So clear up something for me, because I was having a discussion with my 10-and-a-half-year-old. She has a friend in primary school who's on Instagram, and I'm not sure, I wasn't sure what the age was for a child to have what do you call it, a profile on Instagram, or an account on Instagram or Facebook. Just, I mean, are there, what are the limits?
So there are age restrictions for some of them. I believe Facebook and Instagram are both 16, although,
well then,
I mean, the kids on Instagram are way younger than
and I was shocked to see what was being posted, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. But then that's, you know, that's things they're doing. It's not like the parents are putting those pictures up. So I don't know, I think you need to monitor it. I monitor my kids' use all the time, and they signed a contract with me when they got their phones, which says it's my phone, you're borrowing it, I will always have access to it. If they change a password and I can't get onto it, they lose it. So I think you have to be vigilant. And lots of people talk to me about, you know, is that a breach of their privacy? But, you know, it's also a protection. You wouldn't throw your kids into a playground full of pedophiles. So why, just because it's digitally?
For the days of black and white Polaroid photos. Thank you so much, Natalee Holmes. I think you